Hello everyone, welcome back to Smart Move Insider, a place where we talk about fitness, community, and making progress inside and outside of the gym. I'm Sergio, here with head coach Bart, and today we're diving into a question that is often brought up. Can I get muscle mass and get shredded in the same time? Of course, nobody wants to lose gains, and sometimes getting gains comes with a price. So here comes the question. So let us start from here. Can we do this or not?
Short answer, no. Although that some fitness influencers want to sell you programs most of the time online that claim they can, that you're going to gain 5 kilos of muscle without gaining any fat. I think you're going to have to put a steroid stack on top of that to be able to do that with no muscle gain, with no fat gain.
Nowadays, there are many gurus online, many trainers that are saying that you can eat sweets all day and you will get muscle mass with zero fat.
You didn't see that car passing by yet in Cluj with it's a Mercedes, and on the side it says Slabește cu dulcere.
I saw the ad online. I didn't saw the car.
This is probably the owner, because he has a very expensive Mercedes with writing on the side.
I heard about the guy. I don't know what to say.
For me, these type of things also with can I gain muscle?
Counter my beliefs.
Yeah, I'm like, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So the same with I'm gonna make you gain muscle and without gaining fat. I think people have a wrong understanding when they hear the word clean bulk, and they think that clean bulk means I'm going to gain muscle without fat, but that's not what clean bulk means. You have clean bulk versus dirty bulk. It's just the type of food that you eat. So on a clean bulk, on both, to gain muscle, I'm going to have to go into a surplus in calories. So just to make it easy, let's say if I maintain my weight at 2,000 calories a day, I'm going to go into a surplus. So with both clean or dirty bulk. The difference will be, so I'm going to go into a surplus of 250, 500, and I'm going to start from there. Is going to be what type of food am I going to eat. On a clean bulk, I'm going to basically eat whole foods, nutritious foods, lean meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, some starchy carbs.
So all the good stuff.
All the good stuff that you're eating, that you should be eating now just to stay lean. That's what I'm going to be eating on a clean bulk. But more, which makes it hard. On a dirty bulk, well, you can imagine what the dirty bulk means, right? Because that's what we used to do. I've done it before also.
When I was a teenager and I was having like 16 years old and I was bodybuilding, I was trying to gain muscle, I would eat whatever I can and how much I can.
That's a dirty bulk. It's just about the calories. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just about the calories. McDonald's, chips, ice cream. And there are some famous bodybuilders back in the days that also used to do that.
And was it working? Yes, it works.
Yeah, of course.
But it's with a bit of a cost.
Yeah, we're gonna go deeper into that. What are the advantages and disadvantages of both? But what we're not going to talk about today is gaining muscle without fat, because not in a clean bulk, not in a dirty bulk, it's not going to happen. In both, you're going to have a certain amount of fat adding to your body as you get heavier on the scale. The goal on the clean bulk is to minimize that amount of fat. So imagine if on a clean bulk, I start and in 6 months, I go from 80 kilos to 90 kilos. By the food that I'm eating and by the amount of kilos that I'm gaining per month, I'm going to try to minimize as good as I can the amount of fat that are in those 10 extra kilos. Imagine if I can gain, I don't know, let's say in a perfect world, which for most people this is not going to happen, from 10 kilos is 8 kilos is muscle, 2 kilos is fat. Usually it's going to be, you're going to go 8 kilos up, maybe it's going to be 5, maybe 6. So after going up, we're going to go into a deficit on our calories so we can shred the fat and put the protein in high. So I'm going to try to keep on to the muscle as good as I can, because going in a deficit, it also to a certain extent is going to burn some muscle. So that's why I'm going to higher the protein. So, but then in the dirty bulk, that percentage on those 10 kilos of fat will be bigger because I haven't fed myself with quality food. I just fed myself with whatever I could find. Could be sugary stuff as well, donuts and whatever I wanted. So it's a choice. Both work. I've seen online famous bodybuilders that made it work, also dirty bulking. And you saw also the strongmen are very famous for this.
Yeah, they eat everything they can get their hands on.
Eddie Hall going to the McDonald's, the entire table full of hamburgers.
Those strongmen, they don't care about being shredded.
No, they
just
just want
wanna-
maximum amount of muscle.
Yes, they want to be big so they can move the external
Yeah,
weights.
yeah. But we know that that is not that's it, a utopic idea to think that you're going to gain big amount of muscle without adding fat, because we've seen the bodybuilders. Just look online and type in any famous bodybuilder and also type in off-season physique. How they look on stage versus how they're looking off-season, it's different because they're in a different nutrition plan off-season, and then they're on-season because it's different goals. At a certain point, they're trying to bulk, lean or dirty bulk. At closer to the competition, they're trying to get off all the extra fat and maintain with as much muscle as possible. So these guys prove that the most and the fastest way to gain muscle is add calories and add some fat. But yeah, if I'm gonna gain 5 kilos in 1 month, probably I'm too high in calories and most of it will be fat. So that's why small jumps, that's why I usually say 250 to 500 calories and then see a little bit what the trend of the scale is. So half a kilo per week, so 2 kilos a month, most likely it's not going to be an extreme amount of fat. In comparison, if I get big too fast, you're probably just having too much calories for what you need. So it's a bit of playing around with it.
Mm-hmm. And in this case, we are talking about natural bulking. We don't.
Yeah, I'm not talking
refer
about
to
steroids, but no, just what you can do with food and natural. And it's purely the process of eating more, training heavy, exhausting the muscles, doing 8 to 12 to 15 reps, whatever your schedule is, doing 15 work sets per muscle group, training the same muscle 2 times a week. Because at the bodybuilding, then the goal is to have maximum muscle. So we're trying to exhaust the muscle, time under tension, and we give it enough food to be able to build. Food being also enough carbs, because that's why I see a lot of bodybuilders eating the rice with the chicken. The rice also helps you recover and build the muscle, and next to the protein. So you also need it. So don't go on a low carb diet. You need your calories when you're in that goal. Mm-hmm. Have you been in a period where you try to gain as much muscle as you can?
I'm more used to getting weight down from the time I used to fight in the ring. I didn't try that much to add weight on me because it's very hard. You need to eat much more than you are used to, and you need to be very disciplined on the times that you eat.
It's normal because imagine if you need to get 3,500 calories, it's a bit hard to get that in 2 meals. So you're going to probably need to eat more often just to be able to get all those calories by the end of the day.
Exactly. I think you have more of an experience in this chapter of gaining more.
Yeah. I've done that exercise in the last decade many times, because when you met me, I was 82 kilos.
Yes, you were featherweight. Mm-hmm. Versus how you are now.
Yeah, now I'm 100. So I did that bulk up, cut down, bulk up, cut down, bulk up, cut down a lot of times, because I was like 82 with abs. Now I'm 100 with abs. So it's every time bulk up, cut down till you're again at a decent body fat. Because I would advise people that want to bulk up to first be at the body weight that I can see your abs before you start adding, because you're going to add fat. So first cut down enough so you're looking lean and athletic, and then go into a bulk up phase because you're going to add some, and then we're going to cut down again to about the same body fat you were started at. But hopefully, if everything went well, you will have a couple of kilos extra of muscle. So, for example, from 82, I went to 90, back to 85. From 85 to 92, 93, back to 88. So every time, 6, 7, 8 kilos up, 4, 5 kilos down.
In what timeline?
10 years. Because what I used to do, I could have done it faster, but it's also mentally hard because, like you said, it's mentally hard to always overeat.
But you talk from a standpoint of somebody that's gaining hard-ish. Let's say
In theory, they say that there are no hard gainers; there are only undereaters.
true, but let's say you're somebody that is getting heavier just by sniffing on a dessert.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know about that, but yeah, you could do it faster. I'm
Why
close
I'm
to 2 meters, and so I'm of the how do they call it, ectomorph morphology. So I'm tall and skinny all my life. So
ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph.
yeah, so for me, it's in theory it's harder to gain.
Yeah.
So that's why I did it in breaks.
You know what I'm saying this because people usually are afraid of getting kilos on.
Yeah, yeah.
All our lives we heard don't eat too much, you're gonna get fat. If you had a childhood when you were a bit more puffier and you were being called fat in middle school
Yeah,
or high school,
Some traumas there.
yes, there are some deep wounds. So
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
gonna gain a bit and you're gonna cover yourself up, you might not have the confidence that you can drop it.
Yeah.
But as you tell me now, you are gaining and then coming back
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
A bit lower than
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you want to lose.
Yeah, 6, 7 kilos up, 4 kilos down.
So it's a matter of trying with confidence.
Yeah, it's gonna come off. That's not the problem, and especially if you know that you've been all your life trying to lose, you've seen that losing. It's just a matter of process. It's just a matter of eating the amount of calories. The same for gaining. It's just a matter of daily getting your amount of calories, and then keeping an eye on that scale. Don't let your body weight go up too extreme from month to month, because then you're adding too much fat. Cut the calories a little bit and still gain, but not at such a rapid pace. You could gain 2 kilos a month, but you could also gain 5 kilos a month. Don't gain 5 kilos a month. Do it in small steps. And then after you reach 7, 8 kilos, go back into a cutting phase, cut it back down and get back to your app. And normally you should end up at more body weight, but the same look, just bigger because you have more muscle. So that's the exercise I did. I would go up, usually in 3 to 5 months. Then for 3 to 5 months, I would just keep the weight. That's why I'm talking about a period of almost 10 years in which I did it. Because, yeah, I needed to add 20 kilos.
But besides this mentally hard part, why were you keeping the weight on a certain time? You want to feel more comfortable, or you want the joints to get a bit used to the weight?
I want the body to get used to the new reset weight. So for somebody my body type, the moment I don't hit my daily calories to maintain weight, I could easily lose 2 kilos in a matter of weeks. So I would give the body enough time just to get used to the new weight. Because, for example, to make the leap over 90 was a hard one. To make the leap over 100, because at my heaviest I've weighed in the last period 104. And the body somehow has a reset moment, I noticed over the years. So after I passed a certain threshold, I could do a couple of weeks of not even paying attention to how many calories I ate, and I would still stay around the same weight without too much effort. So I think somehow the body needs to settle in and not be constantly in a gain, lose. I think it's going to be important to have a couple of months of just stay and see if you can keep the body weight on where you want it, and see what calories you need to stay there before you go back up and back down.
Mm-hmm. I understand. It's like you're giving it a bit of time to get used to it.
Yeah. And also it's a good moment to mentally take a bit of a break and just go maintenance calories and say, I don't need to overeat, because you're force feeding yourself. You're not hungry, but you need to get your calories. So you spread it over the day in 5 meals maybe. Imagine if I have to do 3,500 calories, I have to do 700 calories per meal every time. So I need to spread it out.
So I know this. I want to talk about this because I know the part that in fighting, people from the in between categories, they need to gain a bit, and I know semi heavyweights to go to heavyweight, and then problems appear. For example, in the ankles and in the knees. So I think doing it too fast might get a big toll on your body. For example, your Achilles might have to suffer, your meniscus, because you're too heavy and you're moving the same way you are moving, so you're moving fast. and every twitch of the body will come with more force because you're more heavier.
Yeah, that would be my question. How fast did they do it? Because I can imagine if all of a sudden you gain in a couple of months 10 kilos, it might be a bit much.
Yeah, this is how they play. They drop fast, they gain back, and it's a constant. Be careful because you might break.
Because yeah, if you do it in steps, your body gets used to it, and you also need to. The goal is not just to gain weight. In their case, it should be quality weight. You just don't want to just get fat just to be into a certain weight class. So they would over a longer period have to get all over the weight they want to end up. So if they going from they're 70 kilos and they want to fight in the 80 kilos, they need to go to 90 over time to then be lean at 80. And athletes, you want as body fat low and as much muscle as you can, but then over the long period you will also get the body and the joints adjusted, but probably they just did it too fast.
Yeah, so let's return to our subject. What are the advantages of you being more heavier in our sport, in CrossFit? And why would you like to pass through all this?
The advantages of having maximum muscle for your body frame is that you're going to be stronger, and if you're stronger, you're going to be able to move maximum weight better, so your 100 max is going to get higher. But then on top of that, in metcons usually you're using 40 to 60% of your 100 max. You will move those easier also if your 100 max is higher. Sometimes you can only get stronger by just adding more muscle. There is if you're 100 max, if that's your goal and it's not going up anymore and you're very lean at 70 kilos, for sure, I guarantee you, if you can add 5 kilos of muscle, everything is going to go up again. So for performance point of view, max muscle for your frame should be the goal.
So progress. You
Progress,
can
yeah.
progress faster if you do this exercise because you're going to get stronger overall.
Yeah, that's one point of it. And then the other point is, yeah, everybody likes aesthetics. So look in the mirror for your length. How heavy are you? And of the weight that you have, how much is fat, how much is muscle? Everybody wants to look good in the mirror. Everybody wants to look in proportion. But then this extra muscle will also help you perform in training. That's also nice.
Exactly.
But let's see. I said we're gonna see a little bit what is the pros and cons of dirty bulking versus lean bulking. Clean bulking, the pros, the obvious is that because you're eating nutritious foods, so all the good stuff, lean meats, fish, eggs, all that stuff, fruits, vegetables, some starchy carbs, it's going to be more healthy. You will have better blood sugar regulation in comparison when you're eating crap. If I'm eating hamburgers and fries and stuff, it's going to be different. Going to be better for your gut, not to eat too much crap, and it's just healthy food, everything digests better, so better for our overall feeling. Going that way also will result in more productive trainings because you're going to be high energy when you're going to go into a workout, and it's going to help better on the muscle recovery of the damage you did in training. The big negative on lean bulking is it's hard to eat more chicken. If you're now eating 200 grams of chicken in a meal and then you have to eat 300 grams, it's hard to eat more chicken and to eat more lean protein because lean protein makes you feel full. So you get faster that full feeling. So it's going to be a challenge to eat in a surplus with all these good foods because they make you more full. That's the disadvantage. This is also the reason that when people want to lose weight, usually those people overeat on snacks, that we advise them to focus on their protein because lean protein makes you feel full, so then you will have a full thing, you won't have the craving so much. But in the case that you want to bulk, it performs a problem because now it becomes a bit harder to eat more of that protein. Especially women struggle with this. You probably had talks about with girls, a lot of them eat between 800 and 1,200 calories, which is little. So they're used to eating little a day, not a lot of quantity on their plates, maybe not even 3 meals a day. The stomach got used to it, shrinks. If then those people have the goal of gaining, it's going to be hard for them to all of a sudden eat 200 grams of chicken when they're not used to eating quantities now. And we're not going to be able to make the switch so fast because maybe they eat 1,200 now. That's what they're used to for years. And on the ideal scenario, I would want them, because they're already under eating, I would want them to get closer to 2,000 if they want to do the lean bulk, because the goal in this talk is to add muscle. A jump of 800 calories is going to be too drastic. So with these type of people that struggle, they're going to need to make smaller jumps. They're not going to be able to do the perfect scenario from the start. They maybe go from 1,200 to 1,400 for a while, to 1,600 to 1,800. And maybe only after 6 months, they will start their real bulking, reach the 2,000. So because it's hard to eat bigger quantities of the good food. It's easy to eat bullshit and snacks. That's very easy. So on the dirty bulking, you're not so concerned about the dense nutrient foods. You just eat whatever you want, whatever you focus, whatever you do. The focus is just on getting calories. Whatever. I want to get to the 3,500 with whatever lies around. It's going to be fine. Sometimes they say, whatever fits my macros. Yeah, whatever fits my calories in this point. I want 3,500. I'm going to eat 3,500 on a hamburger, on fries later. I'm going to eat gummy bears. I'm going to do ice cream because I'm getting to my calories. And yeah, it will work. The pros: if you struggle to eat quantities of food, or if you're a hard gainer, it's easier to get calories like this. You won't need that much food in quantity because those type of foods usually are high in calories per 100 grams. So it will not be a full table of food in comparison to clean bulk. If you put all the food together, 3 meals with 200-300 grams of lean meat, some snacks in between with I don't know, vegetables and a protein shake and banana, and it's going to be big quantity of food by the end of the day. On these dirty bulking, smaller quantity of foods because they're high in calories, so that can be easier for somebody that has trouble eating quantities of food. The negatives: eating this type of food, if you're going to eat this in big quantities, you're going to not feel so great. I bet you know the feeling of after you eat McDonald's, how you feel after.
You feel full, but you don't know how full and bloated you are.
And that crash after.
Yeah, you have a big crash. It's like you eat something sweet.
Yeah, but imagine doing that all day long. So this is one of the disadvantages of eating like that you're not going to feel great, and stomach-wise, energy-wise, because you're not feeding yourself with quality food.
When you tell me about the dirty bulk, it's like I'm thinking just about my liver, because it needs to work double shifts for you to eat all that crap, because you're gonna eat even more. So it's gonna work double to balance everything in your blood.
Yeah, and that's also why I'm more of a fan of lean bulk, because of the way the dirty bulking will make you feel. It's a bit harder because, yeah, it's hard to eat that quantity of good food. But overall, I think it's worth it just from the energy you will have, because going 4, 5, 6 months on a dirty bulk, feeling like so, probably it's going to influence your sleep. It's going to influence your training because you won't have so much energy to put into your training. And also the other downside is, just imagine 5 months you ate whatever you want and now stop. And now go on a cut. You just got used to eat pasta, fries, hamburgers, pizza. It doesn't matter. And now you need to do opposite, because now you need to go on lean food because you need to cut now. Now go to rice and chicken.
It's going to be very painful.
Yeah, and I think for some people, we see people. Why are people overweight? Because they're basically eating what I would eat on a dirty bulk, but that's just their food, and it's hard and it's addictive and it's a lot of sugar, and it's hard to make a switch from that. So if you're doing it on purpose, it's going to be hard to get back to the lean food to cut the body fat.
Plus, you're going to make yourself addicted to the sugars that you eat, and it's going to be like sevrage moment that you're going to be needed to pass through.
You will have so much cravings to whatever it is that you constantly were eating that you really, really liked. it's going to be hard.
I usually see this and feel this after holidays. So, for example, Christmas. You have 1 week when you eat a bit more, than you used to. Maybe daily little sweets, like one cookie here, one cookie there, and then when you finish the whole holiday and you come back home, you feel like when you are staying home in your sofa and you have all the healthy food, that you need something sweet. That little craving is from the addiction part that the sweets are giving you. So having a lot of time that you are under free eating and whatever eating, it only gives you a harder time for you to get back in line, in a discipline. So I don't know how that guy does it with slăbește cu dulciuri, but it's against my principles.
I didn't look into it, but I'm going to assume that there is some kind of a meal replacement that still tastes a bit sweet. Like what's that thing that was back in the days very popular with those shakes? Every meal was a shake.
Herbalife.
Herbalife, like
Yes.
meal replacements that somehow tasty and
Yeah.
something like that.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, but I'm never a fan of things that I don't see myself doing long term.
We are not bashing any nutrition variety that they are doing. We are just talking about it. It's for me, it sounds like a subject I would debate on. It's not something I would judge if it works for some people. For sure, we are millions of people on this planet. It can work. I believe it can work. But is this something for me? And is this something that I would preach to our gym members? Probably not.
I think these type of companies, they pop up because we're in a time where people want fast results, and I bet with doing this type of stuff in a couple of months you can lose some kilos. My big question always is it are you gonna be able to do it long term? And if you do it long term, how healthy is it? That's why no matter cutting or gaining, I'm always going for the let's stick to quality foods, fruits, vegetables, lean protein, some healthy fats. And the start point I usually say is if you have the amount of calories for your goal, in this case we're talking about bulking, for the bulking, and just to start at a 30% of 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fats, divide your calories like that, and start your first weeks off like that, and then the tweaking will start according to what's happening. But I think that's a good starting point. One more thing I wanted to bring up. What is shredded? How shredded is shredded? If somebody says, because sometimes people ask that, like, at what body fat percentage or at what weight do you think I will look good or I will look athletic, or it's like a subject that sometimes pops up.
I think in CrossFit, I think it's even in the manual, if I remember right, there are some percentages, some numbers. So for women it's like under 18 and for men 16 or 14. I might be mistaken.
But it's somewhere there.
But it's somewhere there.
Somewhere in that area, yeah. Like
we are discussing about
from a health point of view, right? Yeah.
Not the bodybuilding stage shape that are.
But we know that that's not healthy, and they're only that low in body fat on that moment.
One day.
On that moment, because I've read some stories that some of them you get so low in body fat that the bottom of your feet hurt because you don't have fat on the bottom of your feet and all that weight is on the bones and that it hurts to walk the stage.
Never heard that, but that's crazy.
Yeah, the thing is that in my opinion, when it's too low in body fat, it depends on how you feel, and that can differ a little bit from person to person. I would say if you want to be the most shredded possible, I would say, till the point where it's still healthy. For example, some women, they go so low that it messes with their hormones, and then they stop having their period because they're too low in body fat. It's a thing called amenorrhea, it's called, and it is a range there to when it can happen. For some, it happens when they're at 10. For some, it already happens when they're at 17% body fat. So certain women need to stay above 17 to have the hormones working normally. So it depends a bit from person to person. But of course, if a girl would tell me I stopped having my period, I would say, you're too low in body fat. That's not healthy anymore. I don't care how you look. Because the problem with going so low in body fat is that it can lead to decreased bone density. It could lead to fertility problems. And yeah, obviously the hormonal balances which they already have because they don't have their period. So obviously the hormones already getting affected. So if you get into that case, in my opinion, it's too extreme. You shouldn't mess your body to that point. No matter if you think you look the best at 10%, if you stop having your period, I think you should go up in body fat to some point where your body works normally. And I think a lot of these things are, of course, influenced by Instagram and what we see online. We see all these guys online being super lean, and they're giving us the impression they're all year long that lean. I think we need to be realistic on one, are they natural, yes or no? Are they on steroids to be that lean, or drugs that get the fluid out of the body? Is that photo taken, and are they only in that shape just for the photo shoot from that day? Just like a bodybuilder is only that lean for the competition. So we need to be a bit careful with who we are influenced by and not try to go to extremes, because a lot of the bodies online are not natural and not attainable without certain help that might influence your health.
And I think you need to know your long-term goal. What do you wanting to get out of this? If this is just one-time glory, yes, you can do it. Make some crazy pictures, drop in weight drastically. But if you want to do this long-term and you do it for longevity, maybe you should consider something different.
Yeah, for me, for example, out of own experience, I think it's doable to be a certain body fat, but I think you need to see, like, if I'm at, let's say, 15% with the amount of calories I eat from day to day, is that maintainable for a long period, and how do I feel on it? How do I feel when I get lower? If I'm not feeling so great, maybe what you could do is, okay, summer is coming, the 2 months before summer, I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'll look a little bit more ripped when I'm on the beach. And then after summer, I'll go back to my maintenance level. And maybe I'll go from 10%, I'll go back up to 15, 16%. During winter, I'm feeling okay again. It could be that you do it like that. But super low in body fat all year long, I don't think you will feel great. For example, I've been around 10, and then I feel like my joints are a bit more achy than when I have a little bit more body fat. So for me, like during the year, 15-16% for me feels like manageable. I don't look too puffy, my joints feel okay. So it depends a bit. For example, if we talk about competitors, they say, okay, if you're a competitor, you want to maximize your muscle mass and have as little body fat as you can while you can still perform. Usually they say men around 10, 11, women around 15, 16%. And then again, like we said, it depends how you feel. Maybe it needs to be a bit higher, needs to be a bit lower. So there could be a +3 or -3. So men to be 7 to 13, women to be, I don't know, 12 till 18. There is a range there. So it depends a bit on how you feel. But of course, for performance, having too much body fat obviously will slow you down in metcons. It's like doing pull-ups with a weighted vest. So you want to find that balance. If you're a competitor, you want to find where that point is. We've seen competitors at the games, for example, Noah Olsen playing around with it. One games coming in at 90 kilos body weight, being ripped. Other games doing it at 83, being ripped. So playing around with it till he found his point of where am I still strong and where can I still have pretty high cardio. So it's a little bit of trial and error where you feel the best at. But yeah, you want to be lean, but still want to perform. So you still need to have the energy. So trial and error, depending on your goal, if you're a competitor or if you just do it for aesthetics. See a bit what is a good body percentage for you, where you can stick to the nutrition and you feel good, you feel healthy, you feel energetic, and you say, I can do this all year long to stay like this from all points of view.
I really like what you said earlier, and I would look at it like in seasons. Make a warm season and a cold season. In cold season, you are allowed to be a bit more puffier. You're gonna help your immune system be a bit more stronger. But when the warm comes, you will take your t-shirt off to look like you want to. So looking at it as seasons, I think is the best way to go. So that's a
Yeah, I
good
think
point.
it's the ideal moment to do it in the winter to be a little bit higher in body fat. Why not?
Yeah, that's great.
That's where I would do my bulk if I would bulk. Why not? Be shredded in summer, do a plus 7, 8, 9, 10 kilos of bulk, cut it back down by January.
And it also helps, the season will help you, because it's in our nature to get a bit more fat over us in the colder season. So that's also in your help.
And if you're a bit self-conscious, because a lot of people they're shredded now and they're thinking I would probably look better if I would have 5-6 kilograms extra, but they're a bit too self-conscious of okay, that will mean that for 3 to 5 months I will be looking a bit puffy and I will lose my abs a bit, and they're too self-conscious, and that's why they don't do the bulk. Another reason to do it in winter is you're having sweaters and big jackets. You are not going to the pool, and so that mental part, it might help to do it in winter.
Exactly. I think we can wrap it up here. Like always, if you have any questions on how to get shredded or how to gain muscle, not both in the same time, let us know. Send us a DM. We love to chat. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the gym.